Alright, so good morning to you and welcome back to the channel. It is around, what is it? It is 7 a.m. Central. I'm sitting outside of my delivery spot. We're down here in Brownsville, Texas. Border town, so I don't think they're going to open until 8. See a couple of people arriving at the business next door, but it's usually 8, 9 o'clock is usually when these places open. You might get lucky every once in a while, 7 a.m. or 7:30, but for the most part, it's 8 or 9 Central Time. So, yeah, I'm waiting for that. But this morning, I woke up this morning, just woke up for a moment around 5 a.m. Central, and then remembered that a driver needed a correct address. So I was checking the emails to see if the broker had gotten back to us with the correct address, which they hadn't. So got up and kind of did a little more searching on that. Reached out to the broker again. So it's kind of two things that I kind of wanted to highlight about bringing this up. One is when you get your own operating authority, whether it's just you that you're running, or whether you have owner operators or fleet drivers and some other vans you own, this isn't a regular hour kind of thing. Like, anything can happen at any kind of hour as far as whether it be a breakdown or something like this. We've had the issue, reached out to the broker yesterday about this, and they said they were contacting the customer, the normal spiel, but nobody had gotten back to us yet. As I said, anything can happen at different hours. You have to be ready to be awake and on top of certain things when certain things happen. That's part of doing your own thing. That's why some people don't like it, and it's not meant for some people. They should just run under a carrier or a dispatch service, preferably a carrier, and let them take care of all the logistics of everything. Because when you're not running under a carrier, like, you're the one responsible for contacting the broker, for figuring out problems. If it's a bad address, if the weight's wrong, if the pieces are wrong, if there's trouble with anything along the way, breakdown, and you need a load recovered, no matter what it is, you're the one responsible for the logistics of it. So always be mindful of that if you are somebody that's looking into this to go get your own authority and do your own thing, whether it be a one-man operation or a 50-truck operation. Just be prepared to have to deal with a lot of you're dealing with every bit of the issues along the way to start up, until you can get yourself in a position that you can hire people. But till then, you are everything. You are the dispatcher, you're the fleet manager, you're all of those things, payroll, you're everything. So just be mindful of that. Now, off of that subject, the other part of it is being able to kind of problem solve or figure things out, doing your own thing. So with that address, just for instance, with that address, okay, so they give you a name of a business, they give an address, and it comes with the city, state, and zip code. Put in the address, it's not coming up. It's something like Main South Avenue is what they have, a numbered address in Main South Avenue. Nothing comes up. It wants to keep popping up Main Street, Main Street, Main Street. Even if you put in just the street name with the city, state, and zip, it's not coming up with that street. Not coming up with anything that's Main South Avenue. And then not coming up with nothing by the name of the business. Looking it up through the name of the business, nothing's coming up. So if you just use the zip, so you use a zip, and that narrows it down to a certain area, and then you kind of just can zoom in and check business to business, see if you see anything that's showing that name of that business. And that wasn't working out. There was one main facility on that zip, so was guessing that's probably where it's going. So looking at that place, kind of looking at the overview of it, looking at reviews, just kind of what they do, looking at the address. Now, the thing about that is that the main business that was popping up on there had a different zip code. But yet, when you put in the zip code, it was blocking it out, highlighting a certain area, and it was right there in the center of that. But when you tap on the business, it had a different zip. So again, reached out several times to the broker to to the broker to get verification of a correct address, and then also contacted them with what we believe is the correct address, because I called that place that was showing up in the center there, and they said, because another part of the BOL said building 63, so asked them if they have a building 63, export components, and yes we do. So more than likely that's the place. But the point of all that is being able to problem solve. You're doing your own thing, you don't get to just sit back and let dispatch take care of it. And on the other, on that same token, if you have a dispatcher, I mean, even if you're independent and you have a broker, the broker should be helping quite a bit trying to find that address. But if you're a driver and you're on with a dispatcher or a carrier, like, that's their responsibility. I mean, you can do what you can. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I'm still gonna. I work just the same when I was driving for a carrier or driving for a fleet owner or anything as I do now. So that's why all of these different steps that I've taken along the way has not been no big deal to me. Like, I enjoy it. I welcome it. But some people, they think that everybody else is supposed to do everything for them. Like, they think that the address is supposed to be correct, like, all the time. And that's the thing in this. Just, you can't assume that everything's going to be spot on and everything's good to go. Like, you have to verify things, you have to double check things, you have to communicate, and you have to be sure of things. I mean, there's stories of people taking off with the wrong freight. I've had it happen one time to where I had the freight. Everything was supposedly checked off and verified, and I'm saying this just to let you know, like, even you can verify things and still things can still go wrong. So I'm about 100 miles down the road, and it was a decent length run that I was taking too. It was going to a good spot and everything, and get about 100 miles down the road, and they're like, oh, hey, you got the wrong freight, bring that back. Double back, and then on top of it, I didn't even get to get the load that was going where it was going. So yeah, I was a little pissed off over that one. But anyhow, without getting too sidetracked, be prepared to do everything and anything at any time if you are doing your own thing. So that is the moral of the story. I'm just sitting here waiting for this place to open up. As soon as I drop here, I'm going to go up to Donna, Texas, which is about 45 minutes to an hour northwest of here. Just kind of positions me a little closer to Laredo and getting up out of Brownsville, because Brownsville is just the southernmost point just about, and just want to get a little bit more time towards another place that a load could possibly pick up from, because like I said, if I sit here, I'm just an hour further away from Laredo. I'm an hour further away from Corpus Christi or Houston or anywhere I may have to go. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let me jump off here, and I will check in with you guys later.